Hey, everybody, welcome to the Sith Dominion podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dana Martin, not Dr. Boomer, as it says down there. That's from last episode. I am not Dr. Boomer. I am Dr. Dana. And if you listen to the 1 Minute Wins podcast, you'll hear me say that a lot. Welcome to the 1 Minute Wins podcast. I am Dr. Dana Martin, etc., etc. Go check it out. 1 Minute Wins podcast. You can find that on Spotify or other places you get your podcast. Tonight you'll notice something interesting. I have nobody here with me. Um, I can confirm that the two, uh, what are they called? Spawns? I don't know the two that are from me, Eris and Zane. They're in Oklahoma right now, so be watchful of the weather there, and any thoughts and prayers their way greatly appreciated. Um, Cam is out this week as well. He is a busy boy, a special boy. I don't know what just happened to my camera, but it doesn't matter to all those that are listening. And yeah, we're back on TikTok. This is the first time we're back on TikTok in a little while. Simulcasting this on TikTok because it works out a little better. It's just me. So, All right, that's all I have. It's funny because Cam, his favorite part of doing these shows has always been when we go off the rails, when we're talking about things, kind of the extension of whatever the topic is, right? Getting to really do a deep dive. If you've been with us for a while, you remember we used to have all kinds of structure on the show, and we would have in our pre-show, we'd go over the outline. I'd share the outline in advance. When we would have guests, we'd make sure we shared outline with them, pre question and whatever. Like I was trying to do it, just so, um, because I thought the only way to be successful is to do it in the same way or same vein as others. But what you will find with life, if you haven't figured it out yet, uh, there's a popular song lyric, you can go your own way. So you don't need Fleetwood Mac. I know where it comes from. So we don't have to get caught up in what everybody else does and doing it like everybody else. So now this was a 100% wing it show, and Cam is going to be upset he missed it. But if you joined us last week, if you need to know, last week and the week before, I had as my beverage uh, Buffalo Trace whiskey. Tonight, I'm back on the Carajillos. That is liquor 43, equal parts. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I do equal parts espresso and liquor 43. It's very tasty. It's great for an evening, relaxing coffee. Yeah, if I drink coffee in the morning, it's great, wakes me up, peps me up. But if I drink it at like 3, then I'm like wired trying to go to sleep at 9:30. I know I'm old, 9:30 or whatever. But if I drink it late like this, I actually sleep really well. So worked out 2 days this week. Hadn't done that in a while. Monday, Tuesday. Oh, we'll take Wednesday off and sleep in. But I don't think this is going to be a late show, man. We've got myself, and that's it. I did do something different for this show, not knowing if I was going to have anyone join me. This was going to be a vibing show, yes, but of course I come somewhat prepared. I can't help myself. Um, I wrote a monologue. I wrote a monologue for the show. The guys don't know that I did this, so I'm going to try to pull that up, and I'm going to read this monologue. So monologues are interesting. I've read them. I've performed them in theater. Of course, we've seen plenty of monologues on this show alone that we've gone over, like Luthen. Luthen's the, what do I sacrifice? Um, That's huge. A monologue can be very powerful. It can also be hilarious. It can move you to tears. Um, all the stuff and things. So I wrote a monologue. I've never written a monologue. I've written books. I've written uh, music, of course, songs, poetry, um, speeches, material, leadership material, communication material, like learning materials. I've done all those things, but I've never written a monologue, and it took me a little while to kind of think of what I really wanted to do because you only got one shot at it, right? Like it's the internet. This is live. If I'm going to do this, it's my first monologue. I'm no, Christopher Walken. I can't do his voice, but his monologue, like they always hit on SNL. Those guys. I always admired the ability to hit a monologue. So, without further ado, take a sip of my carajillo, and we're going to go through and read. I'll read it because didn't have time to memorize it, and even on SNL, they got teleprompters. So, okay, here we go. I'm a little nervous. This is silly. Okay, uh, why Star Wars matters to me. People ask me sometimes, why Star Wars? Why this galaxy? Why these stories? Why keep talking about it? And the honest answer is this: Star Wars didn't just entertain me, it shaped me. I didn't grow up wanting to be famous. I didn't grow up wanting power. I grew up wanting meaning. And somewhere along the way, in a galaxy far, far away, I saw something that felt very familiar: the struggle, the struggle between the light and the dark. And it wasn't just cosmic, it was very personal. Star Wars gave language to internal battles that as a kid I had yet to learn to explain. Things like fear, abandonment, loss, doubt, responsibility, failure. When Luke looked at the twin sons, I didn't see a farm boy. I related to the longing. When Anakin fell, I didn't see a villain. I saw what happens when pain goes unchecked. When Obi-Wan endured loss after loss after loss and still stood firm, I saw resilience. That mattered to me because life doesn't always hand you victories. Sometimes it hands you responsibility. Star Wars taught me early that leadership isn't about control, it's about choice. You can't control war. You can't control the Senate. You can't control the storms, but you can choose who you become inside of it. That's the lesson that followed me all the way through to now in real life, into leadership, into coaching, into writing, into fatherhood, into moments where quitting would have been so much easier. There's a reason I talk about the dark side so much. It's not because I celebrate it, it's because maybe I understand it. The dark side is seductive, not so much because it's powerful, but because it promises relief. Relief from that fear, relief from the doubt, relief from the feeling of not being enough. Star Wars doesn't hide that, and it shows you the cost. That's why it matters. The saga isn't about space battles, and it's about integrity under pressure. It's about whether you let your pain define you or refine you. It's about standing in the middle of all the chaos and deciding, I will not become what hurt me. That's leadership. That's growth. That's my daily work. My And yes, I love the ships. I love the lightsabers. I love the lore, but what I really love is that Star Wars refuses to pretend the battle is external. The real fight is internal every single time. And maybe that's why it stuck with me for decades. Because the galaxy may change, the characters may change, the format may change, but the question never does. Who will you choose to be when everything is on the line? That question shaped me. It shaped how I lead. It shaped how I raise my kids. It shaped how I handle failure. It shaped how I define strength. Star Wars didn't just give me stories, it gave me a mirror. And every time I look into it, I'm reminded that power without discipline destroys. I'm reminded that fear without processing corrupts. And then, of course, attachment without balance consumes. But hope, mm, hope. While you cannot build a life on hope, hope is an absolute catalyst. Why? Because hope endures. That's why it matters to me. Not because it's perfect, not because it's untouchable, but because it dares to wrestle with the same things we do. And in doing so, it reminds me of something that I believe deeply. We are better than we think we are. I'm going to say that again. We are better than we think we are. And when the moment comes, that real test, it isn't whether the dark side exists, it's whether you lean away and step into the light anyway. That's it. Ooh, got a little crazy there for a second, man. That was yeah, it was good. We'll see how that turned out on the playback. But Star Wars, man, it's something. Yeah, I was watching some YouTube videos today actually. Just looking at the period of time for Darth Vader after A New Hope, or excuse me, from episode 3, the Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope. What was Darth Vader doing? And we have some canon stuff, not a whole lot of canon stuff, but some, and we know he was hunting Jedi, and there were the Inquisitors, and we know some of that was still happening in the in between. But there was a lot more storytelling that occurred in the, pardon me, Legends. Well, what used to be just Star Wars. Legends has a lot more of Vader's past in that in between time. And why is that important? Because I think who we knew Vader as, and what this is the point. It's different. Who we knew Vader as from the original trilogy. When we watched the original trilogy, we formulated based on a lot of what Obi-Wan talked about who Anakin was, right? We kind of formulated that, made this kind of person out of that. However, once the new prequels were released, all of that we had built up and we had learned and built as what the story was of Darth Vader, what he was doing before, etc. A lot of that's portrayed in the comic. Um, yes, Disney pretty much had to wipe all that away. They still, I think, could have done something with that, but my point is the Anakin that we end up getting in the prequels was not the Anakin that I think we collectively, the fandom, had built up in our mind up until the prequels, which to me is why Phantom Menace was okay and had some decent fan reception. But the Attack of the Clones was just destroyed by the fans, and I think that's because now we're seeing real Anakin, not just Anakin of what we've built up in our minds, right? We're seeing what they believe as what they're writing now as canon, real Anakin, and it didn't match. We didn't, I think, in our minds, picture him as this kind of whiny dude, or the woe is me, pity party me kind of guy. Because everything that was spoken about him in, from Obi-Wan, he was a cunning warrior, a best starfighter pilot in the galaxy. Here's the problem with doing a one-man show tonight is I don't get a break of talking, and so I'm just blah, 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 blah. So I need to find a clip or something to roll so I can take a breath. Uh, but yeah, hello there, Master Tiger. Brother, you missed my Master Tiger from the House Visible podcast. You missed my monologue, brother. I did a monologue, if you can believe it, like an entire. I don't know how long that was, like 5 6 minutes. Like I wrote a monologue for the show. I get so excited. You know what? I was looking at some of these statistics on the Sith Dominion stuff. I have a sweet spot apparently. So my sweet spot is the demographic 18 to 28-year-olds. Find that very interesting because I'm 50. So what the hell? Like, I don't get it. But if you even look back at PSD's guests, we've had a handful of guests that were around my age. The rest of the guests are all young folks that just love Star Wars, and I'm open to talking to whoever. One of the things that I really enjoyed about our show early on, Debbie, is that we had Debbie, um, myself, Cam, and Zane. That was kind of our lineup for a really long time. And what made that special was balance. Balance. Balance in points of view. So you have Zane, who was born after the prequels, or right, whatever, right, yeah, right. And you had Cam, who was born before the prequels, and then you had me, that was born during the original trilogy. Same with Debbie, was during the original trilogy, and female perspective, because we of course talk about art reflects society, and so we talk about on this show a lot, the difference stuff happening in society and how it reflects Star Wars and how Star Wars reflected in society as well. And so miss I miss Debbie and her perspective, and of course need to maybe reach down and spin the old Rolodex and call up some folks. We haven't had a guest on the show in a while. I say guest. We've had, I mean, podcast host guests on our show to me is like a interchangeable thing. So I think of it as, hey, yeah, I'm on your show, you're on my show. That's it. So yes, we've had guests from other podcasts. Don't get me wrong. But like folks where we brought on Oaken Sabers. We brought them on one time and they talked about their sabers, their product. It was really fun. We brought on, of course, DJ Elliott. If you don't know, if you've ever been any Star Wars convention, ginormous Star Wars convention, him or his company does the DJ stuff. Miss that guy. I got to get back in touch with him. I can say that every time I bring him up. So we've had some really cool guests on the show. Tonight, everybody's gone and it's just me. So, uh, yeah. So we are what, 25? I managed to make this go 25 minutes, y'all, all by myself. And there's 5 people watching. This is amazing. Okay. So to recap, so far we talked about where everyone is. We talked about how there's a monologue that I did earlier. We also talked about this show being totally whatever. and I'm running out of breath. So I am going to quickly pull something up here for you guys. Uh, okay. All right. Let's change this around. So here we are, Vibe and Show. So, do, 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 do. I gotta play music. I have no soundboard. Wait, yeah, I do. It's not the same. That's terrible. Okay, whatever. Uh there's three people that it says is watching live right now. While I'm pulling this up, hey, ask a question. And anyone in here want to ask a question uh about Star Wars or anything of that nature, ask it down there. I'm on YouTube over here, and YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And it's a weird show tonight because we have no one but me. Want help? Ah, Tiger. I might, Tiger. I might. You don't have no test or nothing, or what? You on spring break? When I say like, I feel like we're some of the most interactive with our chat. I mean, pretty much every chat. Oh, I knew you just had it because I just watched your started watching your episode where you said you just came off spring break, right? You just posted an episode. That's what it's like. I know I'm right because I was literally watching it before the show. Uh yeah. One of the craziest things about Star Wars for me, and I thought through this when I was writing that monologue, was how deep, yes, yes, was how kind of deep the layers of the onion. Like, you keep peeling back and peeling back on, let's say, Darth Vader or Obi-Wan. I mean, shoot, we spent a whole episode doing Tragedy of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just re-listened to that episode a couple days ago. That's a really good episode. Lot of kind of deep thought on Obi-Wan, making some comparisons even to Snape from the Harry Potter series and that storyline. Uh, Lots of fun. But another thing I wanted to say about tonight that is kind of special, just it's cool number 110, y'all. 110 episodes. And of those 110 episodes, there has only been one other time that I've had to do this alone, just once. So I don't think that's too bad. Um, what I was saying about when I was doing the monologue and peeling back the layers of the onion. On the surface, I feel like we all can agree, like, that's a good story. Um, Father, son, redemption, dude went off the rails, killed a bunch of people, whatever. Uh, think I think though we all know it's more, and by more I mean, how do you the older you get and the more responsibility you get, kids, family, relatives, you start losing relatives. I mean, all these things, but what's the one thing that remains constant? And for a large majority of people, they'll say their religion, right? Or God. For me, yeah. I mean, that's my absolute the dark side is a pathway to many abilities. Some may consider scuttlebutt. What's up, Scarif? How you doing? Um, Shit, just lost my train of thought there. Oh, On the surface, we know it's kind of what the story is, but you can relate to that storyline just of Anakin Skywalker alone in your life via loss. Period. Right? Anakin's loss, and Anakin fell. He's the example of I lost everything, and could not could not maintain my sense of center. Obi-Wan experienced just as much loss, one would argue, and never even considered it. There's so much of that in Star Wars where you can't help but, as I was saying, you're getting like as you get older and these your life changes, you relate to those stories differently. When I was a kid, oh my god, I wanted to be Luke Skywalker. Freaking wanted to be Luke Skywalker. Um, had kids, brought them up right. They loved the Luke Skywalker. Daughter was Padme. Son, I think for Halloween one year was Vader Yoda Vader. I don't know, Darth Yoda, something like that. He like had a Darth Vader mask and put the little ears on. It was adorable. Yes, Zane, I'm calling you out on that. I wish I had the picture though. So it seems that as I moved through life, the movies did not change, but my perspective of those movies and how I related to them did. I didn't want to be Luke Skywalker at the point that I started managing people. Holy shit. When I started managing people, you want to, like, Dana, when did you go to the dark side? People management. I'll be the quickest way. If you've heard one excuse, oh my God, choices. Oh, what do we got here, Scare? Choices have long lasting impacts. Star Wars and real life. It's why movies hit young people so hard. These lessons we see from our favorite characters on screen. Amen, Scarif. Yes. Many Star Wars characters. I am for Halloween. Oh, am I for Halloween? um, shit, I lost it. Where were we? That's what happens when I go off the rails and I have no one to tell me where I was. Uh, but no, yeah. So my perspective changes, and our perspective changes, of course. And it's more than like you're watching Rugrats and you catch some adult jokes thrown in, right? Which inappropriate, whatever. It's conversation for another platform. But the point is, like, your perspective changes the older you get, and your experiences have you watching for or looking at things differently. And what I can say from my experience with Star Wars, even just taking the original trilogy, you watching that, go back in time, man. Watch that back in time in your head, that memory for the very first time. Who did you want to be? What did you want to emulate from that? What did you get from that? Because what I got from that was this was in a galaxy, not ours, far away. And it was a long time ago. So can that happen on Earth? No, it cannot. Hmm. So while I really like to be Luke Skywalker, who I really fell into aligning with before Vader was Han Solo. And I'm not going to go off. There's a sound bite apparently now on Zane's soundboard where he'll hit the damn it. Sorry. That's when I went off about Han Solo, how they killed him. But there was a moment in my life where I couldn't not be in trouble for whatever reason. Trouble found me. Not not good, not fun. and it just seemed like that was Han Solo, right? I mean, just never, no matter what he did, something always screwed up. Couldn't get the Falcon fixed, or whatever. Like it was always something. Uh, he was a scoundrel. Nobody really liked him. He really didn't have any friends. He had Lando, really didn't have any friends. That was me growing up. This isn't a sad, sapsy story, whatever, for Dana. It's just I could relate. I could relate. When I was a young kid, I could relate to Luke. As I grew up and started experiencing what life was and social aspects of growing up, I started to relate more to Han. And then when I became management supervisor for the first time, Darth Vader School of Management signed me up. Sorry for the dead air. I have to take a sip. Um, so yeah, you hit mid 20s, 30s, you're in management. Darth Vader's the way to go. Palpy, right? So everyone knows on this show, Dana loves him some Palpatine. Uh, yeah, he was the architect. He used a lot of manipulation, sure, but he also used a lot of influence, which is, if you watch this show, influence. Go check out 1 Minute Wins on Spotify or buy the book 1 Minute Wins, Volume 1. Take control of your growth journey 1 minute at a time on Amazon. I have to do the commercial because I got to pay for this somehow. Palpatine had such the knack for reading people, and by reading people, he knew he knew how to operate them. He knew what buttons to push, how hard. Uh, he was a master at it. And yes, manipulation, dark side, but a lot of influence. You cannot dark side manipulate the entire galaxy at once. Doesn't happen. You have to be able to have influence. What was that? Oh, I miss it. I missed one. Gravitated toward Vader for some reason. Always drawn to power, having it, using it, controlling it. I'm real fun at parties. Don't give him the remote. That's right, Tiger. Puppet Master. Palpy. Man. And he was so good. I don't like, of course, how they kind of destroyed him, or like what Disney did to the character. His ending was fine. It just needed to stay that way. Um so yeah, now I I don't know. We're gonna blame this emotional pause on catechios. Hold on, I gotta get some composure here. I lean into Obi-Wan. I think at 50 plus years old, I'm gonna reflect back, and I should take better inventory of all of my successes. And when I say my successes, what I mean is people that I've been able to influence, that they have taken control of their life and growth and become way more than they ever thought that they could be. That, I mean, if you get down to brass tacks, that's my joy. Seeing people, seeing that realization that, "Oh, I have value. I'm worth something." What does it have to do with Star Wars? And what does this have to do with Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan's life was riddled with what some might assume are failures. Lots of loss for sure. Our Obi-Wan episode a couple episodes ago, like I said, I listened to that earlier this week, and it was really good. Cameron brought up some really great points about him, and him knowing his mission and not breaking away from it. So where you have in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, he leaves Tatooine with Leia. Uh, I agree with Cameron. That never would have happened. Obi-Wan Kenobi never would have left Tatooine and left Luke unguarded. Just wouldn't happen. Um, I feel that way. Not that piece of Obi-Wan, but the Obi-Wan where I look back at my life and I should be encouraged by all of the successes of those people that took control of their growth and their life and became more, largely because of someone believed in them. It's amazing to me. We're take a sidebar. It is amazing to me how many people out there get up every day and do not believe they have anyone in their corner. It's amazing to me. I don't get it. You tell me you don't have anybody in your corner, not one person? 'Cause I'm here to tell you, all you need is one. Darth Vader had nobody, even his own master, nobody believed in Darth Vader. Save one, son. All you need, man. One person to believe in you. You got it. So, does that relate to Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan even gave up on Vader. But when I look at my own life, while I don't feel like I've given up on anyone, I do relate to giving up on a dream. I relate to giving up on all kinds of stuff. We'll just leave it at that. You can never go back once you give up on them, right? Uh, what was that, Scarif? Do you think that's a symptom of today's society? The meme generation came back to bite them in the ass. Gen X wasn't like that, were we? No. Oh man. And I so for those of you that don't know, yes, Dr. Dana Marley, I have a doctorate in organizational leadership, but what was my focus on my dissertation was millennials in the workforce in call centers specifically, and what their preferred leadership style was. And that intrigued me. I had to do a lot of research on generational cohorts, their differences in leadership. And right now, as we sit, there are five generational cohorts in the workforce simultaneously, and that's never happened in the history of the US. Granted, we've only been around 250 years, fair, but it's never happened. Mortality rate, yeah, it's a good thing. Uh, so when I read that statement, I read that through that lens, okay? Of yeah, the experiences that Gen X had versus the experiences that millennials had, totally different. Today's generation, the Zillennials and the Gen Zs, like, man, y'all experience stuff we experienced with you, right? Um, it's just different. And those experiences are woven into our fabric of our personalities, of our behaviors, of everything. So yes, it absolutely does. And when you look at Star Wars and its relatability, I think even today, what's even if you ask the young fans today, they're going to prefer prequels to, they may not prefer the original trilogy, but they will prefer the prequels to the sequels. Nobody likes the sequels. um and so I but look at the storytelling, right? Like look at the things we've been talking about in this episode, the layers and pulling back the layers. There's a hell of a lot more layers Uh, from a human relatability perspective, in the first two trilogies, when I look at, and I'm not trying to turn this into a bash session for the sequels, but when I watch the sequels, I'm trying to think of a character I relate to. I just went off on a tirade for 20 minutes and about who I related to in the Star Wars universe at different ages and different stages in my life. And that's still evolving. Right now, I feel kind of like Obi-Wan. I'm a mentor. I'm a someone who's trying to help folks be better. And I'd love to have an apprentice, a Padawan. Sorry, no, one sec. And so, if I were to maybe even say, if I just look at the prequel trilogy, are there folks today that I could relate to in the prequel trilogy? Absolutely. I'm sitting in the middle of a Qui-Gon Jinn situation in 2026 where I can see all the shit happening around me and I'm trying to throw up warning flags and warning signs and everyone's like, "Oh, let's do this. Let's do this." So yes, I once again Obi-Wan. No, I absolutely putting some mind power to it. I could probably relate to a couple of characters. I haven't thought that through. I don't know why I even said it. Now I've derailed myself. Um point is, sequels though, who could I possibly relate to in the sequels? Or yeah, I mean, I can't be Ben. No, I got nothing in common with Ben. Nothing I can really relate to with Ben. Ray, nah. Chewie. I bet I could relate to Chewie now. The Chewie that we get in the sequels, I could relate to now because I have a lot more hair in areas like my ears, my nose, my monobrow. Like I'm turning into Chewbacca. So maybe I could. No, there's not a damn character I don't think I could relate to in and even as like a father, like relating to Han, this version of Han we got. Like no, no, I can't. Mm, runner Poe Dameron, runner of spy. No, that Palpatine, that Snow, like the leader. Ooh, it pisses me off. Okay, so the leaders that we got for the Empire and the Sith in the prequels and in the original trilogy, hands down, more badass than the folks we got for the First Order. Disagree, agree. I don't care what you think. I'm telling you, those those were Snoke wasn't scary. He wasn't imposing. He was a big ass hologram. I thought I was going to end up when we did see Snoke that we were going to end up seeing Snoke was a little like Babu. Hey, he's like some little tiny guy. He's got to project himself big, like MIB. They open up the face and there's a little tiny alien in there. I thought that's what. So my point is like that's what I thought it was going to be. That's what I thought it was going to be. This is how dumb it was. It wasn't scary. Oh God. Yes, girl. I'm sorry, Tiger. Hux man, I look, first of all, don't be subtle, Disney, with what you're trying to portray there. I mean, we all know what you were trying to portray there, but I think you could have done it. It was just over the top, campy, gross. I didn't like it. Didn't like it. Uh I didn't and Hux himself, yeah, 100% terrible, terrible leader. Uh when you look at Tarkin, he's some crusty old guy, but fuck, man, that dude's intimidating. He's like, I grow tired of asking. And he's like leaning into it. Who's another crusty what old guy? Director Krennic. When he's got Deidre and he's like and like sticks his finger like that's intimidating, that's scary. Vader, of course, hallway scene. I, Palpatine, you want this? And then he's like shooting lightning out of his eyeballs and fingers or whatever. Like these dudes were scared. Piet, even Piet had like this about him. What about in the prequel trilogy's day? Now let's be fair. Okay, so who were the bad guy leaders? Whatever. Dooku, Dooku, Sidious, both of them, freaking amazing. Dooku, did I say Dooku? I'll keep saying it like that. Boba, little baby Boba. uh, Jango Fett was a badass man. He was a badass. Uh, of course, I'm just trying to stay with the prequels, and we learned so much more about some other characters that appeared in this in the or that didn't appear in the prequels. Uh, oh, going back to the original trilogy, Jabba the Hutt was freaking flat out gangster. Like that was scary. It was intimidating. Like you know what I mean? Yeah, I still got nothing for the sequels. The Rancor in the original trilogy, that monster was badass. Oh, in the prequels you had there's always a bigger fish. That was terrible. That was terrible. Yeah. Yeah, I think in the prequels right now, I probably relate to Qui-Gon the most because I see shit and I can't fix it. Yeah. Thank you, Tiger. He's like, yeah, same. I got nothing to the sequels. I mean, and I've asked two questions now about the sequels. What's a character you can relate to in the sequels? And then what's one villain or kind of bad guy that was kind of scary or intimidating? Kylo Ren was not intimidating. Okay, wait, hold up. I'm gonna be fair. The opening scene, freezing the blaster bolt, and then like force dragging the person to like all of that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. But that was it. I didn't relate, but I could like I get that was cool. That was a cool villain moment, right? But yeah, sequels, man. I got nobody I think I could relate to. Sucks, man. What are you gonna do? All right, let's see. Let me poke over in my notes here. A couple of lore questions to spawn some convo. Are we getting? Oh, hell yeah! If you were force sensitive, these were some questions I have been asked in different comments over in TikTok a few times. Let's see. If you were force sensitive, what would you do? I think that's a cool question. If I were force sensitive, what would I do? If you were force sensitive, what would you do? I think I would train. Uh, I would like. There's a part of me that thinks I could try to walk that line, kind of Mace Windu-y, or even as Luke did a little bit. But I don't think it'd be safe for me to have. Force powers or be force sensitive. I don't I don't think I trust me. We all wrestle with stuff, man. Like Anakin wrestled with that stuff deep inside of him. Sorry, I'm a little stopped up. I can't breathe. Uh Anakin was harboring some really deep-seated demons, and those demons were attached to him, like latched on. Uh you think you'd what? Tiger? Oh yeah, those cats were awesome. I always thought that'd be cool to like walk up to an ATM and just like use the force and get money out of someone else's account. Yeah. Uh Dude, I lost it. Yeah. So when you have all that junk living in you and you get that power, it's over, man. I mean, we saw what it did. We saw what it did to Anakin, right? And we see what it did in the animated Clone Wars animated series to Barris. Um, just in another example, what it did to Savage, and even Savage was like, when he died, he's like, "I'm not you, bro. Like this isn't me." Uh, and I think fundamental flaw of the Jedi is that no Jedi's infallible, right? Like they're all beings that are sentient beings that are fallible. So I don't care that you have a committee or whatever it's called, council that alleviates and can mitigate some of the potential missteps, but it's not going to cover all of it. Oh hell yeah, General from the Umbarian Arch. The I was watching the Clone Wars animated series, not the long series, the Clone Wars animated series, the short one, and Dirge, and like Obi-Wan, like chops Dirge up, arms, splits him in half, or what, like freaking little tentacles attach, put him back together. I don't remember how they ended up beating Dirge. I think they'd like dropped him in a vat of acid. Maybe that was the Joker. I don't know. I don't remember. I was doing dishes when I was watching. It's my fault. So yeah, what was it I was saying? If you were force sensitive, what would you do? I think I'd probably do just enough to help me be a little more successful. But the problem with that is a slippery slope, right? Like you'll absolute power corrupts absolutely. Oh my goodness. All right, what's another question? Oh, oh, this was okay. If you had an animated series where, oh, I got to scroll back to it. If you were to, oh, what would be the next Star Wars series you would greenlight? What would be the next Star Wars series that you would greenlight? I think the problem with the Jedi is being political and then being theology. And really, yeah, there was a lot of flip flop. I think what was most convenient in this moment to keep us safe and secure? The Jedi. Hmm. Oh, what Star Wars series would you greenlight? That's the question. I think for me, I would absolutely want to see more of like the deep how to train your dragon, how to how to become a Sith, how to become a Jedi. Like we get some of that lore in the video games. We get some of that canon or otherwise. Um we don't get a lot of it in the movies because the movie's not telling the story of the Jedi. The movie's telling the story of Anakin, right? So we don't get like this really is canonical and you can have I guess kind of what maybe Cam talked about it. The maybe do something with Rey and her new Jedi Academy, and you do it animated, and then you're bringing in Rey, your new girl, uh, but you're also giving us what it means to be a Jedi. All the while, you've got you know whoever Snoke in the background. I don't know. Doing it, and so the focus becomes the training. The focus becomes the ideology behind Sith, the ideology behind Jedi. Why are they so different? Kind of like Young Jedi Adventures. That may be true. I wouldn't know. I have not watched that show. I saw it was a animated show for kids and I kind of punched out. I didn't. I know. Oh, what was this? Also more Palpatine playing as pre-canon. Yeah. Yeah. Uh killed his dad. I'm trying to remember. Tired. But he was a senator and he was in politics from the time he was 12. He was in politics, I believe. And so he got brought up in that influence and manipulation, trained very well in it. Mm. And that's what happens when you're in politics for like 40 years. You're like 100% corrupt. Like, how can you not? Uh, it's amazing to me that here in the US we have people serving I say serving, whatever, people in the Senate that 40 years like you ran on a platform 40 years ago to get elected the very first time. You just ran and got reelected on the exact same platform. What have you done in 40? Like, why are you? I don't understand. Okay. This isn't a politics show in that aspect, but I think we can all agree term limits. I don't care what side or in the middle of the house you're on, term limits, man. But yes, I'd like to see that. I think, look, I liked what they started to do in the tales with Dooku and Qui Gon. Qui Gon Jinn to me is a very mysterious character, in a positive way. Like I want to learn more of Qui Gon, um, but I want to watch it. Don't tell me this book. I gotta go read some shit. I can't. I don't got time for that. I want to have time for that. I just don't have time for that. Help me, Tiger. You're my only hope. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Tiger. Um. All right. Don't know if this is a prediction. This was written in my list as well. I have a prediction for the end of the year. Before the end of the year, we're going to get a big announcement uh, about one more project. I don't know if that's a movie, a trilogy, or a series. I'm predicting. here on 3/10/2026 at 9:06. I'm of sound mind and body. I have no intention of doing any harm to myself. I predict George Lucas will be doing a Star Wars project in some way, shape, or form. It will be announced before the end of 2026. I know, I know. But I think they're gonna give him, I think he's like 80 now, so I think they're gonna let him do one more tiny thing to kinda help maybe right the ship a little bit. It's a lot of pressure for George. I wouldn't want that kind of pressure, but I don't know. That's my prediction. All right. One more. Here we go. Okay. What is one thing that Star Wars should stop doing immediately? I have an answer for this, but I just said I want to see an animated series. But I think they should stop with all the damn series. What was that, Tiger? Ooh-ah. I don't think they'll green light a trilogy officially. Maybe just force movie. Yeah, I agree. That's a lot for an 80-year-old person. It's a lot for any person. I don't think they will green light. Oh, I already did that one. Stupid. I agree. Maybe executive producer Dave Filoni. Yeah, I I don't know that he has the dexterity to direct a big budget feature film like that. I think when you start getting, well, no, it's just, it is. There's a cognitive drop off. It happens. And uh, I've had like 8 concussions. And so I already experience cognitive drop off. That's not a joke. That's a thing. Um, which is why sometimes in the show I got to be like, "Hey, where was I?" It's not because of that. So the uh shit, and then I got sidetracked. Yeah, I don't think he has the dexterity to do all of the stuff and things that are required to write. Or he might write, especially he has already has some treatments, I'm sure, for different Star Wars stories and projects. Um, but to direct, I mean, that's huge. I don't know about Filoni directing uh live action. I'm still a little worried about this movie. He's never done, I'll say done, written, directed, or produced. As far as I remember from our previous show where we talked about this, never done a feature film. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Sure did make my face look soft though. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm still here, dude. Chill. Unable. Oh, for Pete's sake. Got it. Was that stop announcing projects? Wait till it's ready, so we don't get. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, I know y'all have seen that big whatever, the splash where you've got all the different titles of the shows and it's all scratched out for Star Wars. Uh, yeah, man, that you get us all hyped for something. I'll tell you, the biggest Star Wars disappointment. I'll tell you that we're done with the show when this is out. My biggest Star Wars disappointment was not getting 1313. That was my biggest disappointment. I really wanted a gritty Star Wars video game, man. But uh I was looking at, yeah, that's right. Star Wars TIE Fighter. Did you guys ever play those old games, man? HOV has talked about it during the State of Star Wars. Yeah. Go check out House of Isla podcast. Let me see if I can get the scroller. I don't have my help today, so Outcast. Nope. Feast of Fandoms. Nope. Where is it? I swear we've had it on there. I know we had it on here. Did he rename it? Dad gummit, Zane. I don't know if it was Zane or not, but I'm gonna tell him. There's a 6-7 counter. That was really a thing. I didn't see it. What are these guys doing? Oh, yep, there it is. Boom. Look at the bottom scrolly. YouTube at House of Vizsla. Go check them out. Super fun. We'll leave that up for a bit. Uh, One thing they should stop doing me like, yeah, I'm with you. Stop giving us false sense of hope and then yanking the carpet out from underneath us, man. Uh, just frustrating. Once I was about to say it a second time just now, reading. So we'll just put this up for those of you watching. There you go. Yeah, I when you take a couple of steps back and look at what has happened in the last, what has it been now, 14 years, I don't know, 14 years since they took over. um I think if you look at their scope of work, how would you grade them on a ABCD scale? How would you grade the Disney, how would you grade what Disney's done with Star Wars? I'm gonna throw out B minus. Uh, I really feel like they dropped the ball. Definitely not on the dean's list. But you gave us Andor. And for me, Andor is the single best television series I have ever seen. It also contains the single best episode of television I have ever seen. And I'm a Gen Zer, man. I I watched a lot of TV. What was that? 2012. Yeah. So what? 14 years? Crazy, man. I I was kind of happy though that Leia was a Disney princess. Just kidding. No, man. It's so hard to have your heart ripped out. These folks had one last shot at being the heroes that I grew up with. They pissed it away, man. Disney, pissed it away. And now all those stars, their lights have burnt out. Um, we'll never have another Princess Leia. We'll never have, well, We may. We may. We've talked about recasting today. Uh, screw that. I'll give the whole franchise of Star Wars from 2012 to today. I'm giving a C minus, not a B minus. I'm giving you a C minus because you had every opportunity to put our heroes back on stage, on screen, in a situation that would provide closure to their story. And you didn't. You gutted the fans. You gutted their relationships. You gutted them, literally. You gutted Han. You Mary Poppins, my princess. Yeah, C minus. And the only redeeming thing that keeps you from getting a D, Disney, is Andor. 24 years? Can I not do math? 2012 to 2024 is 12 years. 12 plus 2025, and now it's 2026. It's 14 years. I mean, I've been out of school a couple years, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to put that up there, Tiger. I'm pretty sure it's 14, not 24. I think you carried the two, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. Um, I say that a lot. What else we got for tonight, man? Oh yeah, scale of 1 to 10, or A, B, C, or D. And Tiger gave a C plus, but animated maybe a B plus. Absolutely, animated, pretty cool stuff. I'm with you. I dig it. All right. I said that was the last question, but I got one more. Oh, if then, okay, if you're going to continue down the path of making movies in trilogies like the Skywalker saga, right? And you're going to now put on the Rey saga or whatever that is, um crap, I lost my question. We don't need bigger stakes. Yeah. So, if you're going to do that, don't just redo what's already been done and just make it bigger. Nobody likes that. You've already done that. Don't do that anymore. Number two, give us characters we care about that we can relate to. I don't know any little girl. I don't know any little girl that could relate to Ray, because most of the little girls I know have at least one parent. Um, you made this person an orphan with no parent figure whatsoever, literally living on the street. Who can relate to that? Perhaps people living on the street who aren't going to see your movie because they're living on the street. It's just logic, Disney. It's just logic. I was watching Bridgerton. Just kidding. I'm not gonna. I mean, I watched Bridgerton. What do you? What? There was something in there that was Star Wars. I'm not gonna do it though. I'm not gonna. Let's move along. I think we're gonna lose fans if I start talking about Bridgerton. Um. Okay. I think we're gonna wrap it up. I'm tired. It's 9:20. We did an hour show, hour plus, and I had Master Tiger didn't pull you on the show, but you were on the show. I appreciate you. I can relate to Ezra, and he did not have parents. Like, okay, mhm. Well, I'll stand corrected. Is it wrong to say I want to be Jairus when I or Canaan when I grow up? That dude. That dude did right every time. Ezra had a great mentor in Canaan and a caring mentor. Like looked on him not as a father figure, I don't think. It was very brotherly. Um, it's really good. Uh, I really I really would have loved to see more Kanan, how powerful Kanan could have been like on screen, right? He died, in my opinion, like at the pinnacle of him realizing how strong in the force he really was. Um, he made himself see, or was it the force allowed him to see? Whatever. Point is, dude was like OP in that moment. And what was it that was driving him? Was it the fate of the galaxy and I must do this? Or no, just a handful of people, a couple people in particular, Hera. But the level of compassion and passion and love that Kanan had, he knew he would die, but he also knew that they would live. And when I think of who else was that pure of heart, we have a lot of Jedi examples, but I'm gonna probably go with Luke. Luke went to face the Emperor and Vader alone. It was a suicide mission. It was either save my dad or this galaxy ain't worth saving. I think he knew if he could do what he ended up doing, of course things would work out. But if he wasn't able to turn his dad back, he was going to have to destroy both the Emperor and Vader, and there was no way he could do that at that point. I think as a Grandmaster, he would have later on in the legend stuff. No way at that in Return of the Jedi he would have been able to. So he knew it was a suicide mission, but it was also, I think, a little. I don't want to live in a world if that's how it's going to be. Because I mean, what? Like this is the chance. This is the shot. I'm either going to kill my dad or I'm going to save my dad. Good stuff, man. All right. Thank you for tuning in. We have I don't know what we're doing next week. It's St. Pat's, and used to be in a Celtic band and did music every St. Pat's. I did music all the time with that band, but especially St. Pat's, we had multiple shows around Austin. We lived in Austin. Uh, we'd play, 2, 3, sometimes 4 different places on a St. Pat's. So I didn't get a lot of time to enjoy St. Patrick's Day. And in the last couple of years, I've tried to make it a point to go downtown and partake in the festivities and enjoy Um, St. Pat's, and that's not to say that I didn't enjoy playing guitar and singing in a Celtic band. I did. I really enjoyed all the alcohol that I got for free. What I didn't enjoy is that standing on stage and playing so others can enjoy is totally different than getting to partake in the festivities. So I'm happy I got to do that a couple of times. I think one cool instance was going to the North Texas Irish Festival. If you've ever in and around Texas around this time of year, it's like the first week in March, the North Texas Irish Festival takes place, and it's a blast. Played there like 5 years with Sarah Dynan, the band I was in, Celtic music, and went there just to go and be a part of all the stuff and things. And it was super fun to just go and be a festival goer. Um, and I think a lot of these folks that get caught up in the whirlwind when there are these actors and actresses, I think if they don't play it right, it can be a bit taxing on them. And I say that for like Daisy Ridley, who got killed, John Boyega. A lot of that brought on himself. Um, but it's a lot different for them to be in a big production of this magnitude with so many fans. Um, think about that too. They have that pressure. I don't know why I care. They don't care about me, but it's who I am. Whatever. Good show night. Thank you, Tiger, for joining Scarif. Appreciate the engagement as well. The rest of the crew, I don't know where they'll be next week, but hopefully they'll be on here with me. If not, we'll do this again. It was fun. Thank you for joining out there in TikTok world. Also, uh, Zane, go to Zane's. I'm trying to find it. See, he's the one that usually puts this up. Zane Martin Music. Zane's Insta is at Zane_Martin_music. Go check out his Insta. You'll find his shows with Thomas Babiak that he'll be playing drums and singing backup. And also, we have our Feast of Fandoms family that really good friends of ours, including Debbie, Andrew, Cam, not our Cam, Cam and Focus Cam, David Furr, the list goes on. Hope you all are doing well. Go check out their shows as well. They're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and Facebook. I think that's it. I don't know. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Andrew's on all kinds of shows. So I don't know. Why don't we have Andrew Haley's? That's weird. All right. Also, go check out the Discord, tinyurl.com/TSD cord. And come join us in After Dark. No After Dark tonight. I don't want to just sit there alone. So I know Tiger would probably join. Clearly, I'm tired. We're going to bed after this. I think that's it. I need to be back in focus one last time before the show ends. So there you are. All right. All right. I think that's it. Happy St. Pat's if we don't see you next week. And always remember, kids, peace is alive, is only passion.